And we back and we live. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, WatchYoMouthReviews. This is your boy James, where today I am here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Based on who on the screen, y'all know that ain't gonna happen. So we'll live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. Y'all say what's up to her.
What's poppin'? And welcome back to James. Welcome back to the YouTube streets.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. I am back. It's been a long, I don't know how many days it's been, but y'all, it's been a long time between me working 23 days straight. And then, don't move. I am back officially. Thank you guys for holding it down on my channel while I was gone. I appreciate that. Hey, Shani, thank you for being here first. Now, Shani, before I get into this live, we got to address some things here. Because, I love you with all my heart. I do. I love you with all of my heart. But you talking about how you misspelled collective and how you didn't want to talk about that hole in that throat. No disrespect, Tiffany. I am so sorry. We're not talking about that. I understand what that is. I know what you were going through. We understand this. So I'm apologizing on behalf of my good girlfriend, Miss Shani, for saying this. We no disrespect to you. We understand what you had to go through. Sorry, I had to do damage control, y'all, because people will take that the wrong way. And we got to make sure we don't,
Tiffany understand what she went through. Because if I had a hole in my throat from a trach, I'd be acting a little more godly. Amen.
You ain't no better.
Listen, I'm defending my twin, okay? Jim and I got okay? We a little brutal.
Girl, you wasn't no better than Shani. Hell, I was trying to clean that shit up. Here
I'm gonna go to the corner. I'm gonna go to the corner for me and Shani.
Now, why is Shani in the corner? The live didn't start. My God, Keywan, you didn't read that comment. Read the comment. It's
I'm
right
there.
Beside
my twin. I'm sticking beside her.
Twin, I'm on lunch right now, waiting for the live. Can I go in the corner a little bit later? Y'all is too much. But shout out to my girl Keywan. Y'all make sure y'all click on her beautiful picture and subscribe to her channel. Leave a comment and tell her James sent you. We appreciate you. We starting with this. Yes, we are starting with this lady because I got to go in on Tisha. I got to go in on Kimmy. And it feels befitting because this lady was sitting in the room with Maurice and Kimmy when she made this face over that ignorant shit that Maurice said to this in front of this, his wife and this lovely couple here. Just crazy. Hi, Pacino Rules. Thank you so much for welcoming me back. It feels so good to be back. I didn't know it was. Yes, it was. Well, you could look at it and tell it is, but
all the more reason for this bitch to behave. That means you had a second chance at life. Act accordingly.
Yeah.
Y'all could cancel me. I ain't got shit no way. I don't care.
She said, let's go to it. I got the refreshments lighting up right now. We chilling in the court. Y'all is a mess.
The best thing you could do, though, is to put a pothead in the corner. That is the truth. We will thrive.
Yes. But unlike Bell Collective, we can go ahead and get into it. So unlike Bell Collective, I feel like we do need to trace back to last episode. So for those of y'all who are fans of Letitia Scott, this ain't the channel for you. I'm just going to let y'all know that right now. I'm starting this off. Those of y'all who are fans of Letitia Scott, this is not the channel for you. There's no harm, no foul. Go ahead and click off. Thank you for coming. Thank y'all for coming. But we got to address this because do y'all remember when Destiny said at that dinner table that, the only person that does not defend Letitia Scott is her husband? And Letitia had that bass in her voice saying, you don't talk about my husband. And all to come back one episode later. And her husband chastising her about how she conducts herself. Letitia, how did that egg feel when it got all over your face? That the point that your former friend, because I don't know where y'all are today, the fact that your former friend told you your husband don't defend you, and in the moment you defended his honor, you then get slapped in the face. Mm, mm, mm. Tisha, you know, we can't even make this stuff up. Not even if we tried. We can't even make up the simple fact that your husband just embarrassed you yet again on national TV, nonetheless. It'd be one thing if y'all was in the comfort of your own home and in your bedroom and in your privacy. But no, that's not like Marcel. Marcel tired of y'all. He tired of you. He tired of you. Because in the opening scene, Kimmy and Maurice are talking about, how Marcel been feeling lately. He been feeling, ways about Tisha, the kids, and, he feels like they just need a restart, a refresh. So Kimmy thought of this grand idea for them to go to Guntersville, Alabama, or whatever the fuck they were. And, just starting to, she found a cute little cabin. She has some exercises, but she tells Maurice she don't want to invite Martell. And Maurice is like, no, Martell's been on his best behavior. He's been good lately. She goes, I don't know. I feel the way about Martell. I said, Kimmy, you? Now, y'all, excuse me for a second. Wasn't Kimmy the same one that said, Martell's a great guy. He's a great guy. I think he's such a good guy. And I just think he just gets a bad rap and all this. Wasn't that the same person, or am I tripping? Y'all leave a comment if that wasn't what Kimmy said about Martell. I know I wasn't tripping. So now you got a problem with Martell all of a sudden? What'd he do, Kimmy? We'll get to that in a minute, y'all. But I was just shocked and befuddled that Kimmy, of all people, after saying that this man was a good guy, gonna turn around and say that maybe we should invite Martell. Oh, Keywan say it was that hoe that said it. Y'all, that's what Kimmy said. I thought so. I could have sworn it was her that said that. Kimmy and Tisha tried to play off that interview with Martell and Bird, but it got under their skin. Oh, of course it did. Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun at Maurice's expense and Kimmy's expense on this live. We are. We're going to have a lot of fun at their expense.
Amen.
I'm just saying. Amen. Why is this because I'm trying to tell you, Shana, this is how I felt looking at this episode. I had to address some things with the Scots. And it's only fitting because this is how we were introduced to this lady, through the Scots. That we put her face up there.
Don't cancel me. Do not cancel me. If the Scots were not on this show, I wouldn't despise this show. I just want them all gone.
They have nothing. They haven't had nothing in quite some time. So I don't understand this. I just don't understand this at all. But I had to get Tisha and Kimmy together just real quick because I just thought it was funny that Tisha was puffing her chest up to Destiny about Marceau, only the next episode later to get into it. See, I was gone last week, y'all, so I couldn't get into this when I wanted to. But I just thought it was so hilarious that Marceau had to make her have egg on her face. Because the moment she brought that information back to him, he was disappointed in her. He felt like that wasn't representing them as a couple. They have to be prestige. They are big pillars in this community. You can't be arguing with people, Tisha, even though it was to defend your honor. God damn it, I am done with reality TV at this point. Wow, Marceau. Wow, Tisha. So Mrs. Best, we got a couple of questions for you. The first one is, why does Kimmy have such a change of heart against Martell now?
I've been saying this since I started coming on these reviews. I used to like Kimmy, but I feel like she's a pick-me.
Oh.
I do. I feel like she's just going to do whatever her spouse wants her to do. And I think that's primarily where her change of heart is coming from.
I 100% agree with that. What was your reaction last episode when Tisha brought back the argument with Destiny, and Marcel kind of, pulling that reverse Uno card on her.
Tisha, how do I say this nicely? I don't want to get in trouble.
Just say it. Say what's like goodbye, because I already know where
I
you're
don't
going.
understand how Tisha could be so messy with everybody else because she got enough beef with her husband. I wouldn't want to be pissing no female off. I would be cool with everybody and gentle with everybody because her husband is forever going to correct her actions, her behavior. Obviously, they're not proud of how each other behaves because she be having problems with how Marcel do his business and he be having problems with how she interacts with people. It's so strange that she just starts shit with people when there's so much ammunition against her own situation. But I'm kind of like, I don't understand how you can stay married to somebody that you obviously do not like and that does not like you. Like, I don't get that.
I don't get that either.
Like, I respect people. Your shit could be as toxic as it can be. You could be in the most toxic shit, but if at the base of it, you and your spouse like at least like truly like each other or really have each other's back, I'll respect it. But Marceau and Tisha, they're just like, they're the opposite of everything that marriage is supposed to be. That's what I would say.
100% agree. So we then get to the next scene, which is them showing up at this. I don't know if this is a camp environment because it was like glamping. They had cabins. It was all very nice. Ken shows up without Trisha because we learned that Trisha actually had court today to finalize her divorce, which we'll get to in just a second. But everyone gets their room, and as everyone's settling in, we notice that Martell is actually in the same, because it looks like they were tri-level cabins. So Martell's in the same area as the Scotts. So when he goes and sees Destiny, Destiny was all like, "You don't think that that's going to be a problem? You being in the same quarters as the Scotts?" And he goes, "No, why would it be a problem?" And she goes, "Oh, come on. You were just talking about how, Tisha be in the backseat of Buicks. You was talking about how, Maurice was over there, driving drunk, and there's more to that story. You don't think that they're going to retaliate?" And, Martell said he ain't scared. And I don't blame Martell. Y'all, I cannot believe the Scots got me defending Martell. What the fuck is going on this show where I got to defend people? It ain't just this show. It ain't just this show, y'all. I got to defend Martell. I got to defend Portia. I got to defend. Y'all, reality TV is failing me this week. It is failing me this week. Because I never thought I would have to defend Martell. Portia, it could be a given, depending on who it is. But the fact that I got to defend these fools, oh, God. God help. So, no, they're going to be in the same house. Oh, I thought it was a tri-level, kind of like a triplex, where they're in the same housing building, but it's cut off 3 separate ways. It's not like that, Shani? I'm sorry if I misinterpreted that, because I thought for sure that's what it was going to be like. It was cut like everyone had. I thought so. Okay. Oh, JB, I didn't even see you in there. Hey, JB, thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. Y'all subscribe to JB's channel. I saw Shana up in here early because we was talking about this lady's face. So y'all subscribe to Shana while y'all at it. We appreciate them. They're great content creators. They do a lot of great. I think Shana still does this show. Shana does this one as well. You guys, make sure you guys subscribe and look at her content. It's the upside down we defending court. I'm trying to tell you, I do not want to defend this man, but I have to at the end. It's only right and only fair. So it's the first night. Kimmy has them writing notes to either they can write a note to the loved ones, they can write a note to each other, anybody. She just wants them to be sentimental in this moment. Trish finally gets there and, she explains to everybody her divorce is final and that she should have her divorce degree by next Friday. But Trish isn't quite happy about, her divorce being final. She actually is, really, really sad. You would have thought as quick as she signed the papers, to file for divorce, that she would be jumping up for joy and, being happy because she
When
now can.
somebody is convincing you to file for divorce faster than you are ready, it would make sense to be sad. She had children with this man and was with him since she was a teenager. If she wasn't sad, it would be a concern. And this is why I look at Ken like some type of a predator, because single moms are to be respected. They are, and women who've gone through hell in relationships are to be respected. He took advantage of Trish when she was extremely vulnerable and unhappy in her marriage while she was newly grieving her family members she lost, and then pressured this woman to get a divorce from a man just for him to end up in other bitches' DMs and talking about he don't know if he want to be with her no more. Like, this is why I say some men are the fucking devil. And I've been calling Ken a predator this whole time, not against kids, but against single moms, because he has done this before.
Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting, and Mrs. Best brought up a really great point. I don't think she was ready to let go of him either. I don't, and I've been saying this from the beginning. I don't think that Trish was ready to let go of Marquez as quickly as Kim was forcing her to do so. I don't believe she was ready to get out that marriage. I don't think she was holding on to hope, but I don't feel like she was ready to let go of it either, because she would have been filed for divorce years ago if that was the case. So for me, looking at her, just being so sad and so depressed and everything, it was like, okay, lady, okay. You can have it. You can have it. I'm going to read some comments really quick before I move on to what happened. Martell's revenge plan has wreaked havoc. Oh, yes, and it was a good one. Let me tell y'all, Martell did what needed to be done, and I was not mad at it. I really was not. Everyone got their own house, yes. You nailed it. Because, yeah, and she did. Mrs. Best did, because at the end of the day, why are these the type of... I'm not saying people shouldn't... Like, everybody deserves a fair chance at love. I'm not saying that, for men out there, don't be with a single mom. Like, I'm not saying that at all. But don't make this a pattern where you want to look like the hero, is what I'm saying. Like, we should not be with people to save them. We should be with people because we genuinely want to be with them, and that we want to fall in love, and that we want to, potentially have a future and family, if that's really what it calls for. It just seems like, to me, he liked the thrill of the drama, and he liked the thrill of, her being in this situation so he can come in and save her, whether if it was financially, emotionally, that's what it looked like to all of us. And that's how it showcased itself on the show. So now that she's actually divorced for him, why are you in women's DMs? Why aren't y'all getting married? Wasn't that the plan? She was supposed to get divorced. The divorce was supposed to be finalized, and then you proposed to her, and then y'all get married. Wasn't that the plan? Their first season on the show? I thought it was. It's funny how we're not there now, but I thought that was the plan. Hi, JJ. Thank you for being here. Keywan said Trish isn't living in her. She's not. And I think that that's the problem. I feel like this lady has gone through way too much. This lady has gone through way too much in such a short period of time, that I feel like the best thing that she could do for herself is to be single. Now she going over there on that Pop That Balloon show. I don't know why she brought her black ass on that show, but that's where she is in today's time. And I still feel like this wasn't enough time to heal. So I don't know if she's coming back next season. I don't know. Has anyone seen Trish filming? My regular people who got the inside scoop on Love and Marriage Huntsville, is Trish filming right now with them? Is she back next season? Because I don't know, and I hope not. I just pray not. I just hope she was the one that got the cutting room floor. The last thing Trish needs is to be in Kingdom Reign. I'm trying to tell you, she don't need this. If anything, if she need Iyanla to come out of retirement and help her. That's what she needs. But anyways, y'all, we're going to move on from Trish. So everyone, has written their, soft letters. I'm not going to read everybody's shit because that shit was crazy. It's ridiculous. I'm just going to say who gave who a letter because I thought that was interesting. So starting it out, Kimmy actually addressed her to Trish, which I felt was weird because I don't feel like they have a rapport like that. And Kimmy even said that in her letter. So I thought it was weird that she would address her, but nonetheless, it was okay. Marcel and Tisha's were to each other, which I thought was cute and sweet. Nails was to Kimmy, thanking them for this beautiful trip. Chris Fletcher's was to Martell's, and I was like, and in the letter, he was talking about how Martell is just misunderstood and that he's so hard and that he wish, he could be in a place where he's at peace with himself. And I'm just like, one, that was weird that you wrote a letter to him. But two, Martell is the cause of all of his drama. We're not going to just act like things are just happening to Martell one by one and that he was just, life just decided just to strike him with trials and tribulations. Martell was the spear campaign member of his own havoc. He didn't, life didn't just hit him. He hit himself with a lot of it. Now, whatever he got now financially and all the other shit, not having the builder's license and all that is on him. But like, come on, Chris Fletcher, let's not do that. Now, that was really silly. But nevertheless, it was a beautiful thing. It ended up being a beautiful moment. I was very happy to see it, and hopefully this continues, but we know it won't. I don't know if Mrs. Best is back yet from her Be Right Back, but if she's not, I'm going to read some comments if I have any. I think I just have one. Did everybody pop a balloon when she walked out? Not it. I didn't watch it. I don't know. Keywan, was it you that sent that to me? I feel like I'm going to blame you. I don't know if it was you that sent it to me. I don't know if it was Mrs. Best. I don't know who it was that sent that in our group chat, but I saw that and I was like,
I did send it to you. I actually have it in my watch later on YouTube because I'm a huge Pop the Balloon fan. I'm going to watch it and then be texting you heavily. That is all.
Okay. All right, I got you. I have a question now that I know that you're back. How did you feel about Kimmy's love letter bonfire-esque memo? How did you like about it? Did you like it? Did you think it was helpful? Did you think it was beautiful? What did you think of that?
Fake ass always want to do something to make her look like she's helping, healing, keeping the group together. She's got this fake I want to be the mother feel amongst the group. Why the fuck are we sitting around a campfire writing letters to each other? Y'all don't like each other. Y'all hardly feel. If you're going to have a show called Love and Marriage and you want to get the dynamic of couples writing letters to each other, restoring love, going on trips, then you got to get the cast right. Marcel and Tisha, that's the only way they show love in their marriage is through letters, because I don't think these people have slept together in years and years and years and years. Okay? Kimmy and Maurice, the problem is they sleep together too much and got therapists making this face that's on the screen. Their shit is a mess. Nobody's really friendly like that. Nell just wrote a letter to who was right there because her and Chris ain't gonna let us know what's really going on. And Chris Fletcher writing letters to his side boyfriend in front of his wife on camera.
His side boyfriend. Wait, I wasn't ready for that one. I was not ready for that. Wait a minute. I actually could see it.
That was Chris Fletcher's letter to Martell was the one that moved me. Nobody else's letter fucking moved me. Chris Fletcher's letter to Martell moved me and had me looking like, well, maybe he's just chronically a cheater and not a bad guy and all of that. Chris Fletcher's letter to Martell, okay? I ain't met not a damn Negro with a friendship that deep.
Because it was off-putting for me as well. I was like, why did you write
wasn't off. It was incredibly loving, and he said kind things like, and your wife's sitting right next to you, and you wrote a letter to Martell?
It was romantic. It really was.
I'm saying it was a beautiful letter. I was touched. And if it's not that, then they have an amazing friendship. That could be it, Petrino rules. But that was the one letter that I felt was genuine out of everybody else's. That one and Trisha's.
Trisha's was really sad. I don't. That's why I didn't want to talk about hers. But I'll go ahead because I lost a parent 2 years ago, so it'll be almost 2 years next month. And when she said heaven could have waited, I felt every part of that. I was like, oh
She
my god.
took advantage of getting stuff out that she doesn't normally get out. So it also shows that being away from Ken is good for her. But hers and Chris Fletcher's letters were the most genuine, if I'm really being honest. And did y'all catch Ken's face when Trish wrote the letters to the people who passed away? He looked low-key annoyed, like, damn, now I'm gonna look like an asshole. Because I really think he wants to look like Captain Save-A-Ho to these females.
Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, they're best friends. They shop at the same spot, wear them colorful, tight ass clothes they be wearing. I don't think they shop at the same spots. Chris gives me he shops like at, kind of like high end online wear. Martell give me he shop at like, Shein and, tight
Fashion Nova
clothes and
and
Fashion Nova and all that kind of stuff. Chris don't give me Fashion Nova. He don't. That stuff don't look like Fashion Nova to me. But we're gonna move on, y'all, to the next scene. So it's the next day. Will shows up, and I was actually surprised to see him there. But Destiny was happy to see Will because she said that she needs another single person on the show. No one's really single, even though Martell couldn't bring Coleslaw, her dolphin teeth. Shout out to Bondi Blue. You know, she's happy that somebody, is single on trip. So now she doesn't feel like she has to be around all these couples. So, it's the day of the caves. And they go into this cave. And it's very pretty. I will say that. America has some really great monumental places. America's great when it wants to be. So, they are, Kimmy's arranged for the caves. They're all talking. They hear the backstory. This man spent his life savings. He didn't tell his wife that he had bought a cave. And Marcel was all like, see, now that's a good man right there. Taking your whole life savings and investing it into something, that's a good thing. Buying a cave, coming home and say, well, baby, I just bought a cave. And I'm just looking at Marcel and say, no, you just got a dummy that will fall.
So this man actually finished his cave and whatever project he have you? That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't seen this nigga finish now one project the entire time I've been watching this show. Talking about, oh, you bought a cave. Marcel is who raised these people?
Yes, I 100% agree. Oh, it is Bondi Blue's birthday. Happy birthday to Bondi Blue. Shout out to Bondi. I don't think she knows me at all, but I love you, Bondi. I really do. You are one of the reasons why I'm on YouTube, so shout out to you. Why was Corntel wearing that tight-ass black turtleneck on Stormy's Live? Child. We went in on Martell and tight-ass clothes already. Nice PR for the... It was, because I actually want to go. I'm not that far from Alabama. I actually would love to go. Chris definitely ain't giving. No, he's not. Chris is definitely giving, at the very least, Men's Warehouse with Gucci brooches. Because I never seen. Let me tell y'all something. I didn't know they still made brooches. Like I was like, they still make brooches, unless his is vintage. I didn't know they still made brooches. I really didn't. It was a really, really pretty cave. I wouldn't went down there. I don't do enclosed places like that. Take plenty of pictures and video and show me what you get out. There's that, and then there's Old Seattle. Those are the two things I would love to see, like within the next 5 years of my life. Old Seattle, because with Seattle, they just built a new city on top of the old city. So I would love to see that, and then a lot of monumental, like natural built caves and stuff. I would love to see that, especially because I live in the state where caves are natural habitat to this state. So I would love to see that. So yeah. But after the caves, they then go, on a little boat ride, and Kimmy decides to separate them, men and women. So the men are in their caves, or not in their caves, on their boat, and they're talking about a few things. They first bring up the Trish situation, because let it be known to the rest of the cast, Trish has spun the block. But to Ken, Trish ain't said nothing about no spinning no block. She said that she did entertain some DMs, of men, thrusting over her. But she ain't say nothing about no spinning no block, or she ain't say nothing about meeting up with nobody and doing nothing of that. She didn't mention none of that to Ken. Ken had no idea. And then Trish tried to lie last episode and said, well, I didn't, I didn't spit no, I didn't do nothing physical with nobody. It was just, I entertained some conversations, because, some conversations. That's what she said last episode. So, to Ken's knowledge, that's what happened. But how we took it, how I took, because Mrs. Best wasn't on that train either. She didn't believe that Trish did anything. I was under the impression that, I thought she had did something with Marquez. That's what I thought spinning the block meant. Because we didn't know of any other guy unless it was Martell. We didn't know of any other guy that she has alleged or unallegedly been with. So I thought it was true. Come to find out, it wasn't. So, but Ken said, even if she did do it, I did my dirt, so I can't get mad at her for doing stuff when I did my dirt too. Now, in a wide range of things, I could respect Ken for not playing the double standard. I can respect that. I like when men don't do that. Because all the men were saying, no, you got to play the double standard. She can't do that. You could do it, but she can't do it. I love that he was like, no, she can do what she wants. I can do what I want. We meet in the middle. Because Ken's code is not clean in this situation either. However, because the situation started out messy, because she still was technically married to somebody when y'all first initiated, regardless of what y'all was talking about, because y'all can't even get the dates right, or when y'all actually truly met and started talking to each other. It started out messy. It's always going to be messy. So as much as I want to be sending him the commendable person, I can't do that, because you still technically was with this lady when she was with her husband. So, Mrs. Best, before I move on to Chris Fletcher and Marceau, how did you feel about the whole, the guys grilling Ken and trying to get confirmation on Trish spinning the block or lack thereof?
I think it's weird. I don't need Ken on this show. This lady's divorced and they not together. Why are you still here? Go back to your box truck and drive somewhere for your next victim. That's how I feel about
Ken. Damn. Okay. Joe, aka Trisha, you're lying because you stutter. I mean, when I tell you that lady stutter be so strong when she be lying, I don't know, but I be like,
her and Ken lie all the time about everything, and I just feel like they invest in too much into their little story plot. But I don't know. A piece of me feels like Trisha just said she spun the block so that she didn't look like a fool. I don't think she did nothing with nobody. I think she might have tried, but I don't think she did nothing with nobody yet.
That's a good point. Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. Yeah. Because I don't think, like, now that we're getting deeper into this, I kind of agree with you now. At first, I thought maybe she spun the block with her husband, or now ex-husband. But, you never know. Because, you can't trust her. Because, she was talking about she didn't sleep with Martell, but then had 5 different stories about him going to his house and all this. So I don't know what to believe with Trisha, because she lies so damn much. But moving on from there, we have, Chris Fletcher and Marceau. Basically, to sum it up, these two, it wasn't so much a misunderstanding. Marceau was being messy and used the excuse of they were trying to go into business together to kind of, get Chris Fletcher to confess whatever it is that he did, to make him, get his license revoked. Marceau, I'm not playing these games with you. You were being messy. And Chris Fletcher called it out. And I'm glad that he did, because somebody needed to, because at the end of the day, as we said here numerous times on this channel, you can't talk about nobody's work ethic or question anybody's licenses when you got building after building and job after job that still ain't even finished, including your home of residence that Tisha wants you to build. So we don't need to hear this from you. But, they ended up duking it out, and they ended up making amends, and they ended up hugging it out, and they're cool. Everybody's cool. This is cool. We all cool. We get to the ladies, however, and, Tisha start out, I want to address Destiny because I hate where we are, and right now, I just feel like, I want to apologize for, calling you a hoe. I didn't, mean it in a derogatory way. I would never do that to you. It was a joke and all this and everything. And it just like, teacher, that joke wasn't funny. Like you were being conniving. Stop. Just stop, 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 stop. And she said, well, Destiny, do you feel like you owe me an apology? Destiny looked at her and was like, apologize for what? She goes, you don't think you said it did anything wrong? Like, you're not going to want to take accountability? And she goes, and there it is again. What am I taking accountability for? What exactly did I do? And this is where I get annoyed with Kimmy and Tisha. Because once again, Kimmy and y'all and everybody, I'm surprised that people are overlooking Kimmy. Her hands are dead dirty into this shit. Like, stay dirty. But we're over here talking about, the Tourette's friendship and all of these things. And I'm just like, you know what? Here's the thing. Destiny, I wish you would say being Tisha's friend is hard. And it's complicated because you have to meet her on her terms versus it being a two-way street. You have to put in more effort. You have to say the right things. You can't have your own opinions. You can't go against her opinions. You can't do this without her having a fucking problem. I wish you would have said that versus saying, well, I'm tired of apologizing. I'm tired of, thinking that everything is cool and it's not and that we're doing things wrong. It's like, I'm tired of hearing that too. Just say what it is. It's hard to be her fucking friend. It's easy. But they were going back and forth, back and forth. Nothing gets resolved. Nothing is said. They're still at each other's odds. And quite frankly, they could go at it all for the rest of this time. I don't really care because their friendship was built on bullshit anyway. Their friendship formed because they both were trying to go at Mel. And the shit backfired. Because Mel didn't give a fuck and then she got off the show because she didn't need it. So there we have it. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Destiny and Tisha's little back and forth?
I'm glad that Destiny is telling Tisha the truth about herself, but I'm tired of the beef at this point because Tisha's a person, she can know she's wrong, will show that she's wrong, apologize for being wrong, and then will still do wrong again. Tisha can go from this show. She's too draining. It's okay to have drama often, but she's never accountable. She's never going to be accountable, and she does too much. So anything having to do with her, I'm just drained. She can go.
I 100% agree because all the Scots can go because this was ridiculous. So after the boat ride, we all get ready for dinner, and this is where shit gets interesting. And y'all know I love a good dinner session. So everyone's crowding around the table, and Kimmy asks, being messy once again. Kimmy started this shit. Y'all remember this. Kimmy started, she goes, I want to know how the boat ride with the men. Like, how did it go and everything? And Kim was like, one thing I could really appreciate, seeing, Marceau and Chris Fletcher work out their differences and Martell and Scott's working out their differences. I love how the men were being men and able to move forward with that. And Kimmy was like, oh well, I don't know how I feel because Martell was sitting over there laughing at Maurice in his situation. And you can tell Maurice didn't want to go there. But Martell, that's all he needed to hear because Martell was ready. Martell was like, oh no, we can go there. And so Maurice was like, I didn't appreciate the fact that you laughed at my DUI situation. Like, I didn't appreciate that because it wasn't funny. Like, I didn't think it was funny at all. And Martell was like, well, I'm sorry that I laughed. Like, it was funny to me. Like, I'm sorry. What happened? Like, explain to us what happened. You hit a pole, you hit a fence, you hit a tree. What did you hit? He goes, no, Martell, I hit a pole, I hit a tree, and then I hit an animal. And so Martell scooped back like this, tried not to laugh. Baby, when Destiny started hollering, it was like everybody just started laughing at Maurice. And he goes, see, everybody's laughing. Tisha's laughing. Your brother is laughing. Everybody's laughing. Even Kimmy was laughing. Kimmy said, no, don't do that. I was not laughing, Martell. Don't you dare do that. He goes, it's not funny, Martell, because I had a concussion. I was in the hospital. And I said, hold the fuck up. Wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. When were you in the hospital, Maurice? Because if memory serves me right, weren't you Marceau and who was it? It was somebody else up at Black, not even 48 hours later, partying up and you with bottles in your hands and they got you on social media after your DUI. So when were you in the hospital with concussion? I don't remember a hospital report coming out saying you were in the hospital. Not that we would get that because that's HIPAA. But I remember your mugshot and Melody questioning whether or not that was lipstick on your lips. I remember that. But I don't remember you ever mentioning you were in the hospital when you were telling Kimmy the story last season. Mrs. Best.
I was being questioned by the creator of the show. I would have for sure said, y'all even ended up in the hospital. That would have shut Mel up in that scene. You didn't say it then, but now you want to say it now? And who the fuck hits, whether it was dismissed or not, who hits that many things? You was drinking. It don't matter if shit was dismissed. You were drinking and driving. He's trying to act as if because a crime was dismissed, the case that he didn't do what he did. But I don't think anybody sober is hitting lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. I don't think that's happening to people driving around sober. Also, you flat state living motherfuckers, he act like, now if this was in California, I might believe him because we have hills and all sorts of crazy turns, dark roads. You driving in flat ass Alabama. Ain't nothing in sight. So how you manage to hit all of these things? That's why I say the Scots can go. They can go. And Kimmy did laugh. I caught it at the beginning.
I did too. And I'm glad you said it because she did. She smirked. She was trying to hold it in, but looked mad at the same time. Kimmy, you ain't slick. We saw that shit. And I'm sick of her. I'm sick of you because the problem is Maurice's story does not add up. It does not add up. And let me be clear with y'all. Dismissed does not mean not guilty. I want people to understand there is a difference between a case being dismissed and not guilty. A case for a DUI can get dismissed for a lot of different reasons. You can go do the, what is it called? The traffic school class. That can get your case dismissed. You just have other repercussions that you have to do. It could be either the breathalyzer installed in your car, or you have to do community service, or you could do a lot of different things. There will be stipulations which are dismissed, but that doesn't mean not guilty. I want people to understand that. There's a huge difference. And because I don't think Martell's not quick on his feet, because I would have instantly said that. Dismissed doesn't mean not guilty. I just want to, I understand law. Those are two different things. So Maurice convinced me with the bullshit. And the fact that your story is now you were in the hospital versus you on social media not even a week later in the club with a bottle in your hand at that time when you're supposedly in the hospital for concussion, I'm sure a doctor wouldn't tell you, oh yeah, you can go back to partying, 2 days later. That's fine. Absolutely. Have a few drinks. You had a concussion. Yeah, absolutely. Maurice, go somewhere, sit down. I would have laughed at your ass too, because that story sounds ridiculous. You hit a tree, you hit a pole, and then you hit an animal. Did I say it in the correct order, y'all? Look at that lady face. That's how she was. She was looking at Maurice. That's how I was looking when I heard that shit. Because that sounded ridiculous and stupid. So, yes. Shani, Maurice, no one is laughing at the fact that you had a concussion. It was the way you just told the story after hitting the tree and the pole, and it's the animal that gets you to stop. It sounds suspect. Shani, you said it, not me. All of this sounds suspect. This whole story sounds suspect. It sounds manufactured and made up to try to endure that he wasn't drinking behind the wheel. I'm sorry, yeah. Oh, I did say it in the correct order, good. Because to me, how the hell the pole didn't stop you from hitting the animal? And what kind of animal was it? Just saying. Why would he admit Why won't he admit he was drunk driving? I don't know why he won't admit that. Did they put in the police report his blood alcohol level? I don't remember because see, I glanced at. I don't remember because this was a minute ago, y'all. So I don't remember what was in the DUI case. I don't remember if they said what his blood alcohol level was, but needless to say, it still was a DUI. So yeah, it's interesting that Kimmy would bring up an incident 2 years later. This was never an issue for Kimmy. This was an issue about Maurice and people laughing about it based on what Martell was saying. He came home to Kimmy saying that Martell laughed at my expense, my DUI situation. Now, this whole him being in the hospital with a concussion and that he hit a pole and an animal and a tree and all this shit, it's like, okay, now there's new levels to the story that we did not know, even getting the mugshot. Is driving drunk a felony? Oh, shit. Is it a felony? I don't remember.
No. Driving drunk is generally a misdemeanor in all 50 states unless you get caught driving drunk without a license, or you have to blow. If you blow triple the limit or hit a person or a tree or a structure, they can upgrade it to a felony, but it's only going to be if it's like structural or property damage. If it's more than whatever the minimum, like in California, you'd have to destroy $1,000 worth of property before your DUI counts as a felony. But usually if it's your first offense, it's very common that the time you spend in the holding tank counts as your time served. And then usually they just dismiss it in most states. So he's making it seem like dismissed means he was honest. But if that was his first criminal offense, that's probably why it was dismissed.
I was just going to say, or even a traffic school, because I know somebody who did that. But they had stipulations with the dismissed case, so they had to have the breathalyzer in their car.
Yeah. He probably was able to get it dismissed. Everywhere has different laws, but if it's your first time and you didn't hurt like a person, they'll let it go.
It looked like Kimmy was trying to get back at Martell, but it backfired badly. Maurice is not going to publicly admit he was drunk. So what other explanation would we have? He didn't say he fell asleep at the wheel at the time that came out. So what other explanation do we have? He didn't lose control of the vehicle because then they're going to do a whole other investigation. So can they take his law license away from him if he gets convicted of drunk driving? Maybe that's why he did to come out and admit it.
Only he can admit it all he wants, but if he's not charged, they can't.
If he's not criminally charged with a DUI or even disorderly conduct while being drunk or whatever it is that they have, he won't lose his license. Like, he has to be convicted. And even then, there may be a stipulations because I know lawyers who had DUI cases and still kept their licenses. So, yeah, I don't think that would have gotten rid of his license personally. But either way, y'all, it was just funny. Yeah, I wasn't really laughing at his situation. I was laughing at how ridiculous this story sounds. And now that it has changed, and now we're finding out more details about it that you did not say in either your interview or on the show. That's what I was laughing at because I felt like that part was funny. Because why are you just now coming out and saying you were now in the hospital with a concussion, but there's video proof of you being in a club several days later? So it's like, I need something to correlate. I need something to make sense if I believe it, which I don't. I'm sorry. I don't believe Maurice's story. I don't believe it at all. I don't believe any part of it. The only thing I believe is you probably hit something. I don't believe it was a tree, a pole, and an animal. I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. I believe you probably hit something. I don't know if it could have been a pole or tree. Maybe it was like Karen's incident. I don't know. But it just seems like to me, we would have had these details come out when your DUI case came out. And I don't remember. I remember they said you hit something, but I don't remember it was those three things. I actually think Mo was back at Black less than a day. I swear I don't want to say it was a day later because I'm trying to be cautious I said 48 because I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was several days later because he could have been in the hospital. I don't know. I don't remember this detail coming out when this DUI case came out, but I don't recall him ever saying when it did come out that he was in the hospital with a concussion. I don't recall that. And I have a pretty good memory. I don't recall him ever being in the hospital because if that's the case, then when did they arrest you for it then? Because if I remember correctly, Kimmy picked him up at the jail. If we go back to that episode. So when were you in the hospital? Did you go after the fact that you were in jail? Like, there's so many questions I have about this that do not make sense based on what he's saying in this episode versus what we knew last season when this shit happened. There's so many different things that I am now questioning. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know what to believe with Maurice. I don't know what to believe, but I do know that they caught him on social. I feel like Funky Dineva was there. For some reason, he's coming to my mind. I don't know why. And Funky Dineva, I'm sorry if you weren't there. I'm sorry, but I felt like I saw you in a picture with them. I do. Love Marriage Huntsville is good for him. Hey, they sure are, Pacino rules. You ain't never lie. They are definitely with the murky and everything be so foggy and be so blurry. You be trying to remember certain details because and it's always the Scots. If y'all ever notice, it's always the Scots that like to do this word salad scenario drops that try to confuse people and shit and make you question your second thoughts. Like, to me, as I said, I don't recall him ever saying he was in the hospital. I recall Kimmy saying Kimmy picking him up from the jail. I do remember that conversation. Yes, Funky was in Huntsville the next day, I think. Okay, so I'm not sure because I remember seeing Funky Dineva in the I remember. Okay, now that this is coming back to me, thank you, JB. I appreciate you. Now that it's coming back to me, I do remember that. So, Maurice, cut this shit out. Just tell the truth. The truth will set you free. Not the subliminal, you try to give us similes and metaphors and shit. Just tell the truth. It will set you free. I promise you. Because this episode was crazy. But I got to get to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Mrs. Best, is there anything you would want to share that I mentioned?
No.
Okay. But that was Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys. It was, as I said, it was a funny episode. Once again, I'm on... They had an even... Okay, so he was there. Okay, so then the hospital and jail and everything else... Maurice, make it make sense because it doesn't. But that was Love and Marriage Huntsville. I got to get to Real Housewives of Atlanta, y'all. I'm running out of time. I'm sorry I'm late to that live, but make sure you go in there because it was quite of a doozy of an episode. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of critical thinking that I got to do in that video. Thank you, Kay Michelle. But thank you guys for coming out. I had a great time. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment of what you think about the whole episode, particularly Maurice's arrest, DUI, whatever he wants to call it, him hitting a tree pole and animal in that order. Make sure you guys let me know what you think happened and if you believe the hospital story because it was never mentioned. Thank you guys so much once again for being here. I will see you guys on my next live. Have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye.